Good afternoon, everyone. I am Carla Sanders, Cosmic Crone, and oh goodness gracious, I thought I got rid of that. Okay, old messages coming through. I don't know, Facebook is so crazy. Don't believe a thing you hear on Facebook, even me. Trust yourself. I am going to speak to you about the message from the cosmic womb that is coming through at the full moon. And I invite you to hear my words and let them land in your body and find a place in your soul. And let them reverberate and translate to you to your authentic true message. That is the message that Facebook is giving me right now. Okay, thank you everyone, welcome. We are speaking a few days before the full moon. The full moon is in Sagittarius and it is exact where I live at 7:51 a.m. on June 14th. That is Tuesday morning. And I am bringing this reading to you now because this moon is talking to me. She's talking loud. And what's happening is, okay, the sun's in Gemini. The sun will be at 23:25 and the moon of Gemini and the moon will be at 23:25 Sagittarius. And what is fascinating about that is that the moon is just a few hours from conjuncting the galactic center. The galactic center is the black hole at the center of the Milky Way, our galaxy. And it lives at 2710 Sagittarius right now. And the moon, okay, at breakfast time, the moon is directly opposite the sun as a full moon. And by lunchtime, Eastern time, the moon will be in exact conjunction with Sagittarius, with the greater, the galactic center. So this is an energy that is building and gathering at the moment of the full moon. And what does it mean to us to say that the moon is crossing the galactic center? That it is communicating, merging energies. That's how I see conjunctions. They are merging energies to create something new. It's more than the sum of the parts. So the moon is intuition, the cycles of life, and your emotional life and your emotional body. The moon is incredibly embodied because our emotions are something we experience in our physical body. We have hormones and neurotransmitters that react to our thoughts and our experiences and our sensory input, and they give us emotions. And emotions time travel, and emotions create reality. Your mind will activate your brain will activate in the same way to an emotion and the memories connected with it, just as if you were having that experience in the moment, in the now. So when we talk about the moon, we're talking about the body, and the moon acts upon water. The moon creates tides, and we can witness this in the great volume of water on the surface of the earth that is the ocean. But it's happening in the relatively smaller volume of water that is inside of our body, and that is one reason we respond so strongly to the moon cycles, and these are roughly 12-hour cycles. And then on the 29.5 days of the moon going around the earth, we and around this chart. I'm going to show you a picture of the chart. So you see the sun in Gemini, the moon in Sagittarius, and the galactic center nearby. So we're already feeling the full moon. We are being tugged by the sun energy and the moon energy, and then the moon moves over to the galactic center, which is a much more subtle attractant because it's attracting, everything in this galaxy. And so we feel that in the etheric realm, the spiritual realm, more than the physical, but the moon is bringing it into the physical. So I feel like I've been giving this advice a lot lately. Listen. The moon is bringing that vibration of the galactic center, the cosmic womb, the heartbeat, the womb beat, the pulse of the galaxy, bringing that into your emotional and intuitive awareness. And Sagittarius is a sign that is incredibly spiritual. It is spiritual epiphany. It is universal connection. And one reason is the presence of the galactic center and the other great object, the great mystery, the cosmic yoni, I think, and that would be the great attractor, which is at 14 and change of Sagittarius. So Sagittarius pulses with big energy, vastness, generosity. Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius, and Jupiter stands for expanding. So this is an opportunity to expand your mind, expand your consciousness, expand your awareness, expand your awareness of who you are, what is being called forth from you. There's a fascinating thing. We humans, we look at the movement of the sun, the rotation of the earth, the revolution of the earth around the sun. We use our solar system as a clock and a calendar. And we've codified it, and we said this is what it is. And we've even imposed a certain order over it. And in fact, the astrology wheel is an order that is imposed. And I'll look at it as Saturn. It is Saturn energy imposed to help us receive the message. It's like an antenna, this chart. So I totally went off into a space, but I believe where I was going is, yes, the expansion of the great beyond, the great out there, the great vastness, the vast self. That's an invitation with this full moon. Gemini being communication, intellect, Mercury working with the fast-moving power of the mind to imagine and to share what we imagine. And so it can be the mathematician and the artist, either one, just as easily. Mercury at home in Gemini. Oh, and guess what? Is Mercury in Gemini? Yes, at the full moon, Mercury will have re-entered Gemini after its retrograde. It will be at 0 degrees Gemini. How cool is that? So Mercury, that's Gemini, and the sun is in Gemini, so it's shining the light on this intellectual capacity we human beings have that is very important because human beings are directors of energy. We are the apex species on the planet, which means we can consciously work with all of this energy and all of life and the systems of nature. And the problem is that we think that gives us dominion. We have forgotten that we are within nature, that we are partners and we belong to nature. We are not separate from nature. We have placed ourselves above nature, and we think that we can manipulate nature as we please. Our attempt is to control nature, to extract the goodness and the energy of nature, and see where it's gotten us. This is patriarchy. I do not know that the feminine system, I won't call it matriarchy because I don't think it was an archy, but the divine feminine goddess rule system prior to that, I do not know if it had any element of being extractive, but I do know that the feminine, the great womb, understands partnership because the womb embodies cycles. The womb understands how the moon moves our energy as it goes around the earth. And so besides this expansion that I've just been describing, Jupiter and the great attractor and the galactic center and this full moon gives us the opportunity to expand inner space. For as vast as it is on what we perceive as outside, as beyond, that same vastness goes as deep within us. And when we can live in that place of receiving and knowing and living from both the great vastness outside and the vastness that is inside, then we can be true humans. We can understand. We have the information we need to walk through this life in a sacred way. So that's the gift of this moon. I could stop right here, but I'm not going to because there's a few aspects here. The sun, moon, and galactic center are in a T-square to Neptune. And Neptune is fascinating. He's at home in Pisces. He is busy doing his Neptune thing. First off, he hides in plain sight. He draws the veil over the mystery. And if you know how to penetrate or take the edge of that veil and pull it back, then Neptune will reveal the mystery. Neptune will help you understand. And in this case, what Neptune can help you see is how to walk with this deep, vast inner space and this deep, vast outer space, and to be able to merge them within you. And he's so good at that in Pisces. He is the deep ocean of Pisces. And this is a T-square, which means it's a tough aspect. Neptune is square. And that means he could bottle up his secrets if he wanted to. He may well choose to do that. And so how do you find your way in? Listening, respectfully, ritually, ask and receive. And as always, there are things that will help. Some of the other aspects that are going on right here, well, you have the great penetrator, Mars. Mars is in Aries, at home in Aries, in an exact conjunction with Chiron. And this is applying. Mars is moving towards Chiron. And by the next day, they will be right on top of each other. They're both, Mars on Tuesday morning will be at 15:05 and Chiron is at 15:55. So they are in a communicative, flowing aspect to the great attractor. So they are tuned in to the great mystery. Chiron is a mentor, a healer, a teacher. And he shows us how to let our wounds be our teacher, to work with the wound and the pain, the thing that we believe cannot be healed, to just walk into that and embrace it and move to the other side and see what's there. And this is like a death. We would rather stay out here and keep throwing salves and try to solve the problem of the wound, try to fix it, band-aid it, because we think that to walk into the womb is self-annihilation. And sometimes it is. Sometimes the wound requires stepping right into another dimension. But for most of us, we do that over and over again, daily, yearly, through each phase of our lives. We are stepping through the portal of that wound into wisdom, into healing, into knowledge, into awareness. And Mars is here to help. Mars is like a laser beam, and lasers have become very useful for healing. They're being used for surgery, for softening of tissues. My physical therapist uses a laser to make my muscles more receptive to the therapies. And as this T-square with Neptune is creating a cloud and a mystery and a confusion and maybe even delusion, which is true, which is accurate. How do I know whether I'm making it up or it's divine guidance? How do I know? Is it intuition or resistance? How do I know? Well, Mars and Chiron are right here to bring. Chiron says, you know, I've been teaching you all along. And you want me to line it up for you again? Here's a review. And Mars is saying, cut the crap, cut to the chase, take an action. You really can't do this wrong. The only thing wrong you can do is to sit and stew in your own juices, waiting for somebody to show you the way. I was in a conversation earlier today, and I'm going to share what we learned. And that is, it's a concept of clarity. Those of us in the transformational industry, and I include myself in that number, we like to sell clarity. An astrology reading will offer you clarity. Yes, it will. A coaching program may offer you clarity. Any other kind of healing process offers clarity. We crave clarity, a release and a relief from the confusion of our minds, the confusion of all the messages out there. But we realized today, this person and I that I was talking to, we realized that, you know, you don't get clarity until you're giving birth. And the conversation was around the chaos of transition. And I'm going to talk about that because if I have described something with the potential for chaos, where you've got your mind going full tilt And Mercury is coming through back into Gemini, strong and potent with the messages from the dark goddess, that retrograde cycle that went back to Algol. And then here you've got the moon talking to the great womb of the galactic center. And then Neptune is there saying, if you ask nice, I'll tell you a secret. What are we supposed to do with all this? Well, here we've got Eris. Eris she's sextile the sun. That is what I call singing in close harmony. And she's trine, also flowing that energy, that chaos energy, discordant energy back and forth between the moon and the galactic center. So Eris is chaos. And if you want Neptune to reveal his secrets, if you want clarity in the midst of what seems to be chaos, you have to ride the wave of the chaos, because chaos is necessary for birth. Chaos is necessary for creation. In the cycle of labor and giving birth, there is a stage called transition. And it's basically when the cervix is 9 to 10 centimeters dilated, or maybe 8 centimeters. It's like it's almost time for that baby to come down. And maybe the baby has started responding and feels that call of the light and the air. And it is so intense. And it can last a few minutes or it can last a few hours, depending on the cycle of your own labor. But it just feels like how I remember feeling, especially with my second birth, because it was quick and unmedicated and I was able to perceive everything that was going on. It was like, wow, I am in the grip of something much bigger than myself. It has taken over me and it is coming through. And at that moment, when the baby's head is born, and then the baby's shoulders are born, and then the body comes, and then the baby is out. And maybe it's even before that. Maybe it's the moment when you say, oh, I can push now. Everything is ready for me to push. And so you and the baby are working together to create this result, which is new life, a new human taking their first breath. So, as much as we want clarity and exact instructions before we move forward, before we make a commitment, before we figure it all out, it doesn't work that way. We can only receive clarity in the active engagement with the process, the decision-making, the next step forward. And the other thing that we can become very clear about is the vision and the desire. We know what we want. And if we don't know what we want, then I give you permission right now to know what you want, to let that divine guidance be your guide, because you can look over there and the space between where you are now, which is so pregnant with possibility. And at this full moon, what did I say? The vastness of the galactic center and the depth and intimacy and infinitesimal awareness of your inner space and the creative juices, the seduction, the teasing that is Neptune, the chaos that is Eris, and the ruthlessness. Eris doesn't give a shit. And it's the same way. When it's time for that baby, whatever you're birthing, whether it's a human being or something else, when it's time, it's ruthless. You stay on top of it, you stay with it, you do what's required, you have clarity because here it comes, here it is, and there can be no doubt. You've got to catch that thing. If it's frying eggs, you're tuned in, there can be no doubt. It's time to flip them. It's time to lift them and put them on the platter. We have another set of helpers. We have several helpers. Holy cow. You know, I so wanted this full moon to be about integration, and I believe it is. I just believe, I'm just discovering as I look here that there is a big cast of characters. And it would be great if you knew which cast of characters was speaking to you. Like I invite you to get a reading with me and let's look at where these cast of characters are landing in your natal chart. Because if you have that information, then you kind of know, well, who do I need to pay attention to and who can I just kind of let work in the background? But either way, what have we got? Let's do a quick run through and then I believe it'll be, we can put this to rest. We have, as of Tuesday, Lilith asteroid, the disowned feminine inside of us, the feminine wound, is moving towards her merger with Lilith, Black Moon Lilith. And Black Moon Lilith, they're both in Cancer, and this is basically incredible healing aspect, because I read Black Moon Lilith as teaching us about what it's like to be female before patriarchy. She is the goddess before patriarchy. She goes all the way back to that original earth goddess, fertile goddess, sacred sexual goddess, and the divine feminine, essentially, who became dirt so that Gaia would live. She took all of that cosmic energy that we've just been talking about and said, let's plant something, let's make something. And so that feminine and the disowned feminine within are coming in for a merger in Cancer, the sign of nurturing, the sign of home. So this invitation, and it is going to intensify throughout this moon cycle, the new moon and the coming full moon in July, they're going to be working together energetically, and other planets are coming to join them. I've had a sneak preview. And they're square Jupiter. So this is Jupiter kind of holding that energy. And it's in a T-square to Pholus. And Pholus can blow things up. Oh my gosh. I think, what if, when Lilith and when the two Liliths merge, Pholus, boom. Pholus is small cause, big effect. He's kind of explosive. He can be lighting the stick of dynamite, you light the match and ignite the fuse and boom, kapow. That's one metaphor for Pholus. I'm going to offer it to you this way, and you see how it works for you. Jupiter is right there at this T-square, and he's saying, I'm happy to make this big for you. What do you want? And I will bless this. And Pholus is looking around for something to blow up. And when you can bring your feminine, your disowned feminine into some kind of alignment, even for a second, with Black Moon Lilith, you can blow that up. And since part of our reason for being here is dismantling patriarchy, whatever that looks like, healing ourselves, getting the patriarchy out of our inner system, reclaiming ourselves from patriarchy. That's what you can do during this full moon. Get together with people. This is one, yes, always choose some quiet time for listening and journaling, but this is one for the women to get together and dance naked by the fire, around the fire. I feel that there would be huge healing there because we've got the chaos of Eris, we've got Chiron and Mars holding the masculine space. There's a square between the dark goddess and Saturn. There's so many, I can't even grok their names here. Saturn and the dark goddess Algol, so that is the demonized goddess. Saturn is square here, and I'm feeling like there's a little bit of a fight. Saturn is connected to the moon and the galactic center. So he's bringing that structure, that law, the rules. And Algol is saying, let's blow those rules up. Let us take that energy and blow something up. And this is metaphorical. Keep your dynamite in your purse. You don't, because our wombs, our erotic energy, our magic is going to blow something up. Why do you think they're coming down on us so hard right now? The governors and the governments and the people who do have the dynamite and the bombs. Okay, let me see if there's anybody else. Well, also communicating Vesta, the high priestess. She is supporting the Lilith merger that I just described. And she's also tapped into Pholus. The high priestess does the ritual. She knows how to hold that space. She knows how to stir the magic and the medicine in the cauldron. And she's doing it. She's doing it. There is another merger here. And this is exact. And it's really important. Juno and Nessus. So this decolonization of our wombs, this reclaiming the power of chaos to create and heal. This is Juno merging with Nessus at 16 Pisces. Juno is the divine feminine, the sacred marriage. She represents the initiatory path of the feminine, of the woman. And then where she's really talking to me lately is social justice and uplifting what is good for the women and children. She is saying, build your structures, build your society on what is healthy and life-giving to the women and children. If you want a successful society, this is the building block. This is how you do it. And who knows more than anyone else what's good for women and children? the mothers, the grandmothers, the women. So listen to women, put women in positions of power. Convene the council of grandmothers. And as she is merging with Nessus, this becomes an opportunity to heal. Nessus stands for healing generational trauma, healing the wounds. I'm feeling these words. You know, Sherry Mitchell, the Wabanaki medicine woman, author, attorney, she created or received the inspiration and did the work to realize, to manifest healing the wounds of Turtle Island. And that is very much what is invoked here, healing the wounds of this planet. And who's going to do it? The women step forward and open our arms to everyone. All colors, all genders, all nationalities, all religions. We open our arms and we say, step into this embrace, step into this circle. Because I'm going to come back to where I was. Oh, I completely forgot a very important one. I'll get to it in a minute. So we have another set of allies here to help us figure out. This is all about trying to figure out what Neptune has to say to us. So we have, and they are these two planets are actually communicating with Nessus and Juno, and that is a conjunction between Venus and Pallas Athene. So there is a resonance between Venus and Pallas Athene and Juno, because Venus is the queen of heaven. She is Inanna and Isis and Venus and love and abundance and money and resources and values. And she looks to Juno and says, yes, ma'am, I'm on your team. The values that we have are uplifting to all of life, and they put what is good for women and children, reclaiming birth, reclaiming mothering, reclaiming childhood, reclaiming the good of generations, 7 generations down the road. Venus stands with Juno, and standing with her is Pallas Athene. Pallas Athene stands for intellectual strength, power, and strategy. She knows how to work with Saturn. She knows how to work with Mars. She knows how to activate the best plan to move forward. And so tap into those. And if you rise before dark, and these days that's real early, like 3 a.m., you will see, you can watch Venus rising in the palest light of dawn, and you can know that over the next few days, you will see Pallas Athene with her. You won't see her. Pallas Athene is an asteroid not visible to the naked eye, but when you look to Venus, tune in and receive that beam of intellectual strength and wisdom and clarity. We're back to that, from Pallas Athene. Oh, Lordy, this is a busy reading. And rather than try to hold all that in your mind, just sit and receive, listen, and then drum, and then dance and light your fire and integrate, because we've been through a lot. We are going through a lot, and there's more to come. And so listening and letting this moon, this moon will come in, and it calls attention to this energy of Neptune, and it's going to move. It's going to move really quickly by by the end of the week, everything will have shifted. And that's when you can expect your download from Neptune. It has been my joy to be with you. Have a wonderful weekend. Have a blessed full moon. And I'll see you again for the new moon.